Yoshi's on our board, and Yoshi's been an active member of the club for 100 years, or something like that. And let's give a big hand for Yoshi.
I'm going to be here a lot. Okay. Hey guys, so my name is Yoshi Shiraki. For those of you who I've never had a chance to meet, I was asked to talk about how to manage contractors using technology, but I thought I'd take it a step further because you can truly go way past contractors. And I designed a PowerPoint to show you guys how I use technology to manage pretty much everything in my life, from just personal stuff to contractors to employees to clients. If you're a mortgage broker like Matt or a broker like Randall, you have people that work under you, how to manage them all through technology. So it's going to be really, really cool. If you like technology, if you don't like technology, it might not be the most fun topic. So I hope you guys like this presentation. So here's what we'll cover. We're going to cover Evernote. Yes. This is, oh, great. Yeah.
Just heard about it last night.
Oh, Evernote is seriously the coolest freaking thing ever.
What's Evernote?
The coolest freaking thing ever. We're going to talk about Wunderlist. Wunderlist is a to-do app that you can create to-do lists. And what's really cool is you can create a list, a personal list, a work list, for my kids list, a real estate list. And what's really cool about this to-do list, I probably come up with about 5 to-dos every day. And most of us probably use a paper and pen. Don't forget to do this. But if that paper's not with you, you forget what was on your to-do list. So what's great is I've got it up here on my phone. I put about 5 in a day, unfortunately, and the list just gets longer and longer. But what's really cool is you can delegate these to-dos to somebody else who you want to do them. So my wife gets a lot of notifications that there's something to do. We're going to talk about Peaky, and we're going to talk about iCalendar or Google Calendar. Now, a lot of you probably use iCalendar or Google Calendar. They integrate very well together. If you're not using it, I'm going to share with you why you should be using it today. And we're going to talk about Google Drive as well. And as a little bonus, I'm going to share just a cool little app called Card Munch that I'll share with you guys at the end. So let's go ahead and dive right into this. By the way, is anyone excited by what I'm going to be sharing? Excellent. Excellent. So I've got a little game. I really appreciated Jonas's loud yell. So I'm handing out T-shirts, black and white.
Yes, I'll go black.
Okay. And so you got it. So basically, we're going to talk about Evernote. So we'll go ahead and dive right into it. Basically, this is what the platform looks like. All of these brown books are quote-unquote notebooks. That's the terminology that Evernote calls them. Okay, so you'll hear me use the word notebook a lot. Now, the other thing you'll hear me use a lot is the term note. And a note is something simply that we take within a notebook. Okay, now, notebooks that have a white stripe across them, like receipts, that's called a stack of notebook. Okay, so as you can see, off to the right of receipts, there's like this darker gray tab, a darker gray section, that basically, yes, thank you, Matt. Off to the right, these are all different notebooks of receipts of different events. So some of us went to the Peter Fortunato in Tampa. So that notebook is strictly receipts, images of receipts that I used when I was in Tampa. There's a Snap Leash book of receipts. And basically, since they're all receipts, they will all stack under receipts. So I've got an overall notebook called Receipts. If I double click on it, all of those pop open. So that's called a stack. You'll hear me refer to stack, notebook, and a note. Okay, so next slide, please. Now, I'm going to show you guys how to use it. I'm going to do a quick demo. Basically, what we're going to go over in this demo is this particular demo that I'm going to share with you. I'm going to share my screen is how I like to use Evernote to manage a particular deal. A transaction that you're about to buy, or maybe you're an agent, you're going to list it. But we're going to go over how to use Evernote really quickly in regards to a property. I'm going to share with you how to create a notebook, and then, of course, how to create the notes. Now, I will categorize my notes in the notebook for, let's say, documentation. So the purchase agreement, the addendum, that will go all in one note that has to do with that particular property. Okay, then I will, if I'm rehabbing this, I'm going to get bids on that particular project. And so I'll get another note that's going to be called bids. And you can be more specific and go plumbing bids, electrical bids, framing bids, painting bids. I just do bids and they all go into that note. Okay? And then basically, there's a note that I've created to put images on. So if I come across an image of like, oh, that's how I want to finish the kitchen, I'll save that note, that image in a note. And so that will be kitchen ideas or bathroom ideas. So I'll show you how we do that. And then basically number 5, as you can see, you can create a note to whatever you can possibly think of. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how we use Evernote. So, okay, so this is the Evernote, really super big. So it's not super big. Thankfully, Matt Snade knows how to make it so it's not gigantic.
Hey, so Yoshi, while we're waiting, I was just wondering if I could get one of those 8x10 glossies, have you sign that for me?
Yeah. Headshot.
The male model?
Oh gosh. Yeah, another t-shirt. Here's a quick question while he's doing that. Does anyone like, I picked up some Utah Home Sweet Home t-shirts. Does anyone like one? You like it? Okay, so Matt. Okay, so here is, you're welcome. You will, okay. Yeah, you bet. That's as small as it's going to get? Okay, so we will have to finagle this. You got it, Matt?
I'll give it to the nice guy who can't stay right here.
All right. Okay, excellent. So, thank you, Matt. Okay, so basically, I'm going to have to just do a lot of scrolling. So, for instance, this notebook right here is an address of a property. Now, this is a project that I'm rehabbing right now as we speak. And basically, I named the notebook simply just the address of the property. Keeps it easy. So I'm going to double click on that notebook and open it up. Now, while it's opening, oh, it already opened. Okay, so these right here are what are called notes. Okay, so you can see I have one note right here called purchase agreement. So in case, for whatever reason, I feel like I want to look at the purchase agreement later, 2 months, 3 months later, it's on my Evernote under the profile of this particular address. Every single thing that I do in regards to capturing this property, from the emails to the documentation to bidding to everything, will go under this profile. Why do I do that? Because what's great about the Evernote is it's in the cloud. So I could be in China and I want to see a purchase agreement for this particular property, and it might be on your desktop, but it's on my Evernote, which means on any web-based platform, iPad, phone, laptop, I can log into my Evernote and see everything that's going on about that particular deal. So this particular one is kitchen, this note that we're on right now is kitchen ideas. So these are pictures of kitchens that I came across that I like, that I want to consider finishing, doing certain things to finish. This is a floor plan that Matt shared with me of a kitchen that he recommends as well. Basically, Matt and I are partnering up on this particular deal, and I've shared this stuff with him, and I'm explaining all that, but I don't think he's ever opened it. Anyways, that's what we're learning how to do now.
Matt, Steve, you gotta get out of technology, dude.
Okay, so we got another note here called bids. So I'm going to click on bids, and as you can see, I've got my electrical bid, I've got my roofing bid, I've got a gutter bid, I've got all my bids under the bids note. Okay, and then I've got a bathroom. These are ideas of how we want to finish the bathroom. Okay, and so then basically I can scroll down. Here's an image of the floor plan. See, this was the current image floor plan when we acquired it, and this is how it's kind of tweaking and changing. And basically, this last folder is the trust documentation. Every single thing in regards to this property is in my Evernote under that notebook of that address, which allows me to be able to see this stuff anywhere, wherever I'm at, which is really cool because prior to Evernote, stuff was in a folder on my desktop, right? And unless I was home on my desktop, I couldn't acquire this information. So now, let's talk about how to create a note. So these are notebooks, okay? So I'm going to scroll down here. So these are all my notebooks. You can see I got a snap to each notebook, that address, speaking notes, for just basically a bunch of stuff. So basically, you come down here, you do a double click, and all you're doing is you're creating a new notebook. And then you get to name it, okay? And then basically, once you have that notebook, the way you create a new note is this tab right here, new note for Home Sweet Home videos. Simply, you'll just hit that. It creates a new untitled note. I can name whatever this conversation with this client, whatever this bid, this whatever, and name that particular note. So I'm going to go ahead and just delete that because I won't need that. And that's how simple it is to create a note. Now, as far as make sure I got everything. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Pictures on your note.
Oh, great question. And I'm going to go over all of that, but I'll just go ahead and show you. So let's create a new note. Okay, I've got an image right here on my desktop. I grab it, I drag it, and I drop it. And it's that easy. I got the image from house.com, the website house.com. So I go through there and I look for like cool little pictures. A nice website that Snape brought my attention to. Thank you, Matt. Okay, so now, the next thing that I want to share. Yes? Yes?
Do you scan your paperwork and your desktop?
Oh, so good question. Most of those bids are coming to me by email. So I'm just downloading them and then dragging it right into a note. But the ones that came hard, yes, I'm scanning those in. Sometimes I'll take a picture with my phone, and then I just use a JPEG, and you can, as an image, just take that right in there. Does that make sense?
So that's like house.com?
H-O-U-Z-Z.
Oh,
Yep. Tim?
When you share with Matt, so he has to go in through, you just share the link with him on each.
Yeah, okay, so I'm going to go all into that. And okay, so that was a demo, and I'm going really quick, guys, so sorry, I'm going really fast, so bear with me. That was a demo on how to use it for a particular project. Now I want to show you a demo on how one would use it for your clients. If you're a mortgage broker or you're a realtor and you've got clients, what I'm going to share basically is, I won't go over how to create a new notebook, because what I'll do is I've got clients, I'll just name the notebook Matt Sneed, whatever. I'll just name it after that person, right? Sneed, sorry. And Matt Atkinson's voice was in my head when I said that, which is why I came out Sneed. Create a note on every conversation. You know, the creating of a note is something you can do, but you can create on a conversation, you know, a document. If you're getting the exclusive brokerage agreement signed, you can keep it in here so you've got it with you everywhere you are on your phone because it's in the cloud and you've got Evernote on your phone. I'm going to share with you how to create a cool presentation with a personalized recording on Evernote. So let's say you're a realtor and your client says, hey, I want a property on a golf course with a swimming pool in Park City. And you find one. So you upload this presentation into a note. Okay, so you create a note. You have a notebook for that client. Now you're going to create a note of that property, which is going to go under that client's notebook. And you can do a little recording so that when they open up this note, you're going to say, hey, this is Yoshi. I just wanted to let you know, I think I found your dream home, golf course, swimming pool, Park City. Check it out. Call me if you have any questions. A little 30-second, however long you want to make it, recording to personalize it with your own voice. So that's something that's really cool. What's also really awesome is number 4. You can create a note and send a link as a web page. So I can send this presentation that I just talked about to a client saying, hey guys, here's the house that I think you described of what you're looking for. Click on this link and it's a legitimate web page. So it's clean, it's not this messed up email with a lot of clutter and history. So it makes for a really cool presentation. And then I'm going to share with you how to share a note versus the notebook. And the reason why you want to share one or the other, let's just say you have a client, and for whatever reason, you wrote down something specific because you couldn't remember who they were that reminded you of them, like the person who has whatever, and it might not be the most pleasant thing, and that person would never want to know that's how you remember them, but that's how you remember them, right? So you don't want to share the whole notebook because that's got that information there, but you might want to just share the one note. So basically, I'll share with you how to share a notebook or note. So on that particular address of that property I shared, I'm sharing the entire notebook with Matt Atkinson. So he can see everything that I found and put in that notebook. But I might not want to share with somebody else the entire notebook. I might just want to share a particular note. Okay? And then there's a shortcut tab. Basically, the shortcut tab, you have clients that you're working with and clients that are done, that you've finished working with. And so you don't want to necessarily delete your client's information that you were working with. You want to hold on to that so you can put them in a completed client's notebook. But the ones that you're currently doing, you can put them in a shortcut area, which will allow you to access your clients really quickly. I mean, it's super simple anyway, but they just make it a little bit more easy through the shortcut. So we'll come over here to notebooks. Okay, and for some of you, you may know, I do some consulting, real estate consulting to Canadians who are buying real estate here in the U.S. So I've got these clients that I consult with regularly throughout the week. So as you can see, I've named their notebook, their name. Okay, so basically, as you have all these clients, you can simply just name the notebook for them. Now I'm just going to use Trevor's here. We're going to click on Trevor. And you can see I've had 14 consultations, probably consultation, not the word, sessions with that individual where we've chatted about his particular deals that he's looking to buy here in the States, but he's doing from abroad in another country. I also record the call. And basically what's really cool is I can refer to this at a later time if I want to kind of hear particular, what I may have told him. So basically, everything in regards to this particular client is in his notebook. So if I was a realtor, I'd have the exclusive brokerage agreement in one note. I would have the desired properties he's looking for in another note. I'd have the properties we've already visited, hypothetically in another note. And so I would have all these different notes. Now, I'm going to click create a new note, and I'm going to just show you really quickly if I can get over here. Okay. So basically, I would create a note, let's say, I don't even know, let's just call it notes. Okay, so now what's really cool is I can, you're hearing me refer to the word share. This right here is how you share. Now let's say I did a presentation on a property. I might want to share that on Facebook. I want it to go viral. I'm a listing agent and I want that property to go crazy. And so I'm going to hit post on Facebook, post on Twitter. If it's, let's say it's Matt Atkinson, he's got a mortgage client, it might be more personal information, probably something that shouldn't be on Facebook, he'll just simply email it to them. Okay, so that's how basically I'm going to share it. And then what's really cool is you'll notice in the green, Evernote just dates it for you. So the second you create a new note, you don't have to worry about dating it. And now you've got all this record here for you to refer back to. Now let's see. Sorry, this screen, just because it's so big.
It has some robust search features, doesn't it?
It does. It does. So what they have what's called tags right here. So what's really cool is you can tag it Dustin Christensen, right? And then that way, when you're like, oh, I wanted to see that conversation I had with Dustin, I can search Dustin, and every note that has Dustin's name comes in it. I've never used this, so I can't say how good it is, but Evernote has the ability to even look for an image. Let's say you took a picture of a Coke can, it can go read that image to find Coke if you type Coke in your tag. It'll go and find pictures that say Coke. So it has very robust search capabilities if you don't remember exactly where you put that particular note. Now, let's talk about, yes?
So if you, like, I'm taking notes on Slido. So and we talked about several subjects, and I want to, okay, what was that subject we talked about? I want that information. I type in that subject, and it'll pull up everything of all I know.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good question. I'm going to give you a shirt. Whether you want a shirt or not, I'm going to. No, yes, thank you. Okay, so, yes.
How are you recording?
You have a shirt already.
How are you recording your phone conversations?
Okay, so that's what I was trying to find. Unfortunately, I can't see it on the screen because of how it is. But normally, let me see. Oh, there it is. See that microphone? Right here?
So it takes the computer right?
Yeah, so if you're talking, so I do a lot of phone calling on my computer through Skype. So it's capturing both of our voices. If I also use what's called Camera Recorder or something like that, CAN Recorder, and that records it as well, and I can just drag and drop that audio into a note. So, yeah, and then this right here is how to take, it takes a picture of yourself. Well, it uses this camera to take a picture. It's also got a reminder, so this is really cool. You take a note, client wants to see a house with a golf course and swimming pool in Park City by Tuesday. So it's Saturday, you don't feel like looking, but you want to do it on Monday. You can click add a reminder, and it will send you an email on Monday in regards to that particular note.
Are you able to do that from your iPhone though, recording just like home it is?
I've never tried. Sorry, I don't know. It's a good question. I know an iPad can.
There's an app you can record all your conversations in an MP3 and drive it into.
Oh, okay.
There actually, I just checked and there is a microphone outside.
Oh, great. Just checked. Okay, excellent. So now let me show you some really sick stuff. Okay, cool. So let's what's that? Okay, I'm going to show you right now. So I just dragged and dropped this pit kitchen. Let's just say this is a particular property that I found that I want to send over to whoever to check it out. Now, as we talked about, we can share it through email, right? But what's also cool, I can come here and copy share URL to a clipboard. So now what it's doing is it's creating a link. Now, I have one picture that I dragged in, but you would probably drag in, a ton of pictures. The front, the back, the inside, the pool, the golf course, the kitchen, the listing price, all the information, and you'd have this really cool presentation. Then you come up here to note, go over to share, and click on note settings, and there is the link that I can now copy and paste on Facebook, on an email, blast that email, say, hey everybody, check it out, check out this property on a golf course in Park City with a pool. And it comes with, I'm opening it now and we'll see how this opens. You have the ability to stop sharing that link as well. So right now I just clicked on the link, it's opening it up in a web page format. So it's not an email, it's not a PDF, they don't have to download anything, they just simply have to click a link and boom, we've got this nice pretty presentation of whatever you put in there. And that was simply just built on a note, you can send a web-based link really, really quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. I'm going to stop sharing that because
Hey, Yoshi, with your tags, can you tag, make sure if there's no words in it, like white kitchen for flip or whatever?
yeah, yep, exactly. Get a shirt, bud.
Yoshi, what about like PDFs and that sort of stuff? How do those appear?
Okay, good question. So,
Who wants a shirt?
oh yes,
You have an Armstrong, you can do it back here.
I don't know if the shirt will carry that far. I can try, but good question. So here I've got a let's see, an Excel spreadsheet. So I'm going to drag it in, and so what it does is it does it so that you can just simply click on it. So I can drag in a PDF, a Word document, an Excel spreadsheet, and they can simply just click on it here.
How does that appear if you share it
As a link?
Yeah.
I've never shared a Excel spreadsheet, but it looks just like, for sharing a PDF, it just looks normal. There's two ways that I've seen it, and to be honest, I'm not even sure how I did it, but I've dragged it and dropped it, and then it just opened the Excel spreadsheet, and then sometimes it does this. It's got to be a setting. I use Evernote on all my computers, so I just don't even remember. One of my computers, when I drag and drop the PDF, it actually opens it. Kind of like the bids. You saw how the bids were the real bids and not this thing that I got to open up. For some reason, I just never cared to figure it out. But there's a setting that allows you to have it open. If I do a link, it'll send it like this, and then they just have to click on that, and then it opens up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, and so really quickly here, again, I'm just kind of cruising through this. Okay. Come back to my notebook. So these are, again, all my notebooks. Now, let's just say so here's an example. Okay, let me show you the shortcuts first since I'm here. Let's just say Brett is somebody I'm working with regularly. I simply grab and drag them over here to shortcuts. You see how shortcuts lights up right there on the corner? And if I let go, I will now have Brett in my shortcuts that I can just quickly, every time I open Evernote's homepage, boom, I can click on Brett. Might be a client you're dealing with at this particular time. I also, and here's an example of, what is that? Maybe I won't show you because the screen's so big. It's probably off to the right, and I don't know how to get it to the right. Okay, all of these little people right here on the corner, that means I'm sharing this entire notebook with somebody. Okay, so contractors, I'm sharing this with somebody. If I open up this, basically these are all, the different, for whatever, painter, foundation guy, dumpster companies, demo, electricians, plumbing, roofers, these are all broken down in notes under the notebook contractor. So I have lots of people that I can refer to on my phone. That's what's great. I own a property, I want to know how much it costs. I can open up my Evernote and call 5 contractors because I'm opening up my contracting roofing guys right there. Okay, sorry again, I'm talking really fast. Okay, really quickly, so how to use Evernote for your employees or virtual assistant. I use virtual assistants. I have staff in the Philippines and India that work for me, but you may have staff here locally. And so what you can do, let's say Randall, for instance, and I don't know anything about being a broker, so what I might be saying might be totally irrelevant, but it's just what's coming to my head as an example. Let's say Randall wanted to keep tabs on all of his realtors' activities with their clients, maybe especially one who did something wrong and now the board is kind of after them and Randall has to figure this out. So this particular realtor, or his realtors, all will have Evernote. There's actually a brokerage in Texas that is 100% paperless. And Apple was so intrigued how they were able to do it. They flew them up to California and interviewed them, and then flew them back down to Texas with a film crew and followed them. It's a real estate brokerage, completely 100% paperless. And it's all through Evernote. And so let's just say that Randall will tell all his realtors that are with him I'd like you to share your notebooks that have to do with equity. You don't have to share your soccer for your son's notebook or whatever, but share all of your notebooks that have to do with equity. Well, as these realtors go in and take notes, hey, I showed this property 124 House Street, boom, Randall gets that instantly in his Evernote because that entire notebook is being shared. So he can watch, monitor, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but he can keep a tab on what's going on with all of his realtor activity as they take notes. So, this is good for your employees. I just use Randall as an example. So my virtual assistants, when they do something, put it in Evernote, and instantly, because that notebook's being shared, I can see what they did. And you can, again, as I was saying, maybe the realtor doesn't want to share the entire notebook with Randall, they can share specific notes with Randall. Super easy through an email process. Okay, so why Evernote? This is really cool. So maybe you already know this. Okay, so Evernote has a monthly storage plan opposed to an overall total plan. Okay, so I'm going to use Dropbox as an example. Dropbox, let's just say you have 5 gigabytes of space on your Dropbox. And you're putting your clients, you create a folder, it's in the cloud, similar thing as Evernote, so you create a folder for, John Doe client, and you put everything inside of that Dropbox, and you categorize each folder, that's great. Well, let's say you start getting 10 clients, 20 clients. At some point, that Dropbox will be too full, so then you're going to start taking out clients that you may already completed working with, right? With Evernote, you don't have to do that. You get a monthly allowance, and it never, ever caps. So I could have a client in there today and just put them in a notebook, say a completed client, and then 10 years from now, they'll still be in the cloud on my Evernote, and I don't actually have to take them out like I would if it was Dropbox because my space has run out. So as long as you don't, I'll show you really quickly. I will show you right now.
Everything was a gig a month and it's
Yeah.
60 mixes or some 100 mix or.
Yeah. So, and here's what's cool. Everything so far has all been free. So that little blue is all I've used so far for this month. It's hard to use a gig. I've got clients in here. I've got businesses in here. I've got notes from virtual assistants. We're, September 11th. I've still got 20 more days, and I still have that much more stuff that I can throw in there. Okay, now if I did run out, I could buy an upgrade of, I think it's $5 for the month, or you can do like $40 for the year or something. And then you get more space. Like if you're like, wow, this is a really busy year, and you've got a lot of stuff you're throwing up in there, then you could use that, a little upgrade. But I'm not on the upgraded plan. Now, what Dropbox is good for, though, is because Evernote is only a monthly limit, if you put one video in there, you probably come close to using your monthly limit. So Dropbox is phenomenal for those big, huge files like a video. You can throw it in Dropbox. I pretty much use Evernote, though, for everything else. Audio, just not video. Okay? This is really cool. Shoot. Let me show you. Sorry, and I'm talking really fast, I apologize, but there's just so much. Okay, so let's say, I'm going to open up this notebook. Okay, now let's say Matt creates a notebook for a client. Let's just say it's Matt Snane. Matt Snane's getting a loan. Matt Snane had to send Matt his W-2, his Social Security, Matt's shaking his head no, you wouldn't work with Matt Snane?
I want someone to be alone.
Okay. Okay. All right. So Matt is now working with Jonas, and I'm just kidding. And so all this critical information that's coming through email is probably sitting in Matt's inbox somewhere, scattered through. I mean, can you imagine, like, if a contractor sends you an email and a plumber and a roofer, and now you got to go figure out who's who. You can simply have it all in one place. But let's just say that Matt Snane just sent Matt Atkinson a bunch of critical, vital information. So what I can do is I can come here. Let's just pretend that this is stuff that's private. I can come up here to Note, or maybe it's not Note. Okay. it's right here. I don't know why it's not highlighting. And I can hit, let me see why it's not doing it. Hold on, because I want to show it to you.
Highlight.
Let's try this. Let me try a different note. Maybe a note that, like this. Okay, there we go. So this is all of MattState's personal information that we don't want getting out. So I can highlight that in blue and then come here and click Encrypt Selected. And now what it does is it requires a password to open that particular note. So Dropbox, you need a password just to get into Dropbox, right? It's like email. I can't just go look at random email because I got to figure out what his password is to log in. If somebody was to figure out your Evernote password and you had this encrypted, which would hopefully you use a different password, they wouldn't be able to see those critical pieces of information that are very private that you wouldn't want people to see. So this is super cool. Again, I refer to Matt Atkinson because as a mortgage lender, I'm sure he gets a lot of information that's very high, private stuff. Okay, so let me keep going through this. Peaky. So what's Peaky? Really quickly, Peaky is an app that is super, super cool. It's right here on my phone. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's a camera app, okay? And what happens is you take a picture of a receipt and it will automatically send it to your Evernote file. Remember how I had all of those notebooks, Peter Fortunato in Tampa, the business trip I had in New York, the business trip I had in Vegas, they were all notebooks of receipts. So Peaky on my phone will basically, I take a picture of a receipt, and then as soon as I hit done, it sends it to that Evernote notebook. That's how I have all my notebooks, and basically all I have to do is share that note or notebook with my accountant through email, through a link, however I want to do it, through Facebook, however I want to share my receipts. And basically, you can see, I just have tons and tons of receipts. And I used to go on business trips and come home with a Ziploc full of receipts. Now I literally get the receipt, I hit, and it's on my Evernote, and I check that receipt, and I don't have a pocket full of paper.
Can it keep a running tab, or can you enter in amounts, or is it just what you see in the receipt?
Oh, great question. Yes, you can. I obviously did it, but under there you can see how there's a total. You can actually take a couple notes on it if you want. So this syncs right up to your Evernote, which keeps all your receipts. And again, everything I've shared so far is free.
How do you identify when you're taking the picture, which folder?
Okay, great question. So when I snap a picture, all my folders pop open and it says, which one do you want it in? So I say snap which. I say whatever. Am I done?
You got like 30 seconds.
Okay. There was so much more, but okay. So let me I'll just.
Come back next month to do a 10-minute text spot.
Okay.
Share that.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, I've got this game, and who wants a shirt?
Hey!
Okay. And this is a girl's one.
Yeah!
Okay, Matt. Okay, so there's a point to this. Okay, how many of you would like me to set this up for you? Because how many of you can see yourself using Evernote or anything like that?
I just downloaded it.
Okay, good. If I see you wear the t-shirt at any slurry event, a luncheon, a seminar, or at a meeting, I will meet you at Starbucks for 30 minutes, bring your devices, and I will help you set all this up. Now, thank you. If I see you wearing the shirt outside of a slurry event, as a coincidence we're standing in Costco, I will come to your house for an hour and set it up on all your devices for you. Okay? So, anyways, sorry I didn't get it all in, but I hope you guys find it.